Nice. Let's get into it. We got 3 topics lined up for you guys, all stuff that kind of took place this weekend in between NBA and NFL. First topic we got for you guys, though, Dallas Cowboys nail biter with the Houston Texans this past weekend, capped off by a 98-yard drive led none other by Mr. Dakota Prescott. Ben, you impressed with this?
I honestly don't know why the topic is on here besides, 75% of the pod being a Cowboys, fan podcast. But I mean, come on, guys, 17-point favorites against the Texans, the last place Texans. This was Daks' 1 touchdown. I mean, he had 1 touchdown on the day, 2 interceptions. I get the 2-minute drive, but I mean, this should have been all game. There's nothing to write home about here, in my opinion.
Sure, of course. It should have been a blowout from the start. They were 17-point favorites. Nobody expected the Texans to be in the game at that point. But let me tell you this. They won the week. They're 1-0 for the week. They got the victory. They move on. They stay on pace, kind of with the Eagles, even though I don't know they're going to catch them. But at the end of the day, they made the 98-yard drive. They got the victory. And this is something that I think that they can build off of going into the postseason, because these are games that the Cowboys lose in the postseason. We lose these close games. We're usually on the other end of the game-winning drive, or we fall short on the game-winning drive because we lose track of time. So it's good to see that they had this, come through for them at the end, capped off by the Zeke touchdown that we're seeing play. So I'm all for it. Like Ben, a little bit, nothing to write home about, but it's something that we can put in the bank. We put our deposit, and hopefully, it pays dividends for us later on. Next topic, we're moving on to the NBA, our favorite sport here, I think, to talk about throughout the year. Zion Williamson made the headlines this past weekend, capping it off against the Suns with the 360 windmill dunk. They already had the game in hand, got the Suns upset. Ben, is fair or foul by Zion? And what are your thoughts on the Suns and the reaction?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going fair. Listen, it was a home game for the Pelicans. Zion sending the fans home, with a bang. They're beating, the number 1 seed from last year in the West. I think that I get it. Some will say Bush League, unwritten rule. I'm with it. Zion's a young kid too. The NBA is going to change. I think these young kids are more about the show and not so much about the unwritten rules and, dribbling the ball out. So I'm with it. I mean, finally, the Pelicans have some hype to them. Here they go, maybe creating a little rivalry with one of the Western Conference top dogs.
Definitely got a rivalry going between the Pelicans and the Suns here. What's his name? Alvarado and Chris Paul obviously don't like each other. Alvarado was on the other end of an elbow from Chris Paul. This is fair for me for Zion as well. I'm going to have to agree with you. But the angle that I'm taking here is the Suns are so soft for reacting this way, in my opinion, because these are guys, in my opinion, they walk around like they're bullies, this team. They have a persona about them. They're dancing pregame. They come out. They try and be tough. But as soon as they start losing, they start pouting. They start crying on the bench. They start doing stuff like this and trying to take away from what happened. They lost. Zion, obviously, he talked about in his post-game interview, he was thinking about this game since they got knocked out last year in the playoffs by the Suns when he wasn't available to play because of injury. So he obviously had this game in mind coming in to this one. So fair for me for the Pelicans, but I'm just looking at the Suns a little differently. They walk around like they've won a title. All they've done is win a Western Conference finals, and then they lose to the Bucks in the finals. So definitely turned off by the Suns here. That's my biggest take.
Hey, why you got to throw that shot at Campaign with dancing before the games, man? Campaign likes to get down.
Hey, that used to be his calling card. He has proven himself to be a serviceable backup point guard in this league, so got to give him props. But he was part of the little scuffle at the end. It's like, what are you guys going to go up and do to Zion at the end? Like, come on. Like, you guys are obviously just making a scene here. No need to be doing that. But it doesn't surprise me. They have a guy on their team that gets mad when he gets double teamed in open gym. So nothing too surprising here on the Suns. Last one, we're flipping back to the NFL. This is one here for you, Ben. You're a former offensive lineman. I'm sure you have appreciation for this. The Lions capped off their victory against the Vikings this past weekend with a little play action fake that ended up in Penei Sewell's hands for the game-winning first down. Do you like getting him involved this way? Good sign for the Lions. Do you think they're live here in the North?
I mean, I was going to say, that's kind of a team with nothing to lose, just everything to gain. So that's when you go and try that. We know Dan Campbell is that type of coach. The Lions are finally in form, man. This offense is moving here. I know you talked about them being 2.5 point favorites, 2 point favorites to the Vikings, and just how, the Lions just might be catching a rhythm. They've won, I believe, their last 5 games, if I'm not mistaken. They got some decent matchups here to close the season. So the Lions got a shot. I know we were high on them because of the Hard Knocks preseason. I think that season win total still has a shot as well.
Yeah, we drank the juice on that off-season hype because of Hard Knocks. It was one of those totals that we kind of talked ourselves into. I went back and watched the video. We weren't so sure about it, but then in the end, we picked it with conviction, and it looked bad to start the year. But like you said, they've won three in a row at home. I know that for a fact. I think they got a road game in there. But they're pick 'em this week against the Jets, and they got 4 weeks to get us one more victory to get to 7 and to cash that over 6.5. So let's go. Lions still very much alive in the playoff race. I don't know if they'll catch the Vikings in the North, but man, I love this Vikings team. That they're fun to watch. Got a lot of weapons. And definitely going to be in play here these last 4 weeks in the playoffs, in the playoff push, and for our regular season bet. But this is a short episode here. This is just we talking shop, three topics, and we're pretty much out of here. Ben, any parting shots before we log off?
No, sir. We in and we out.
All right.